As you can tell by the title of this video, we're talking about why your content isn't converting, even if you're doing all the work, you're putting in the reps, you feel like you're doing everything right, you're hitting that post button every single day, but your content simply isn't converting. It's not bringing in leads. It's only bringing followers to the page and views to the account. And this is actually a very common problem. A lot of people come to me with this problem, and it's a very painful problem as well, because you feel like you're doing everything right. You feel like you should be getting the results, but you're simply not. And the truth is, the solution to this is not very complicated, but at the same time, it's not so easy as well. It just simply needs to be implemented and used moving forward throughout all your content. And it also doesn't involve changing all of your content completely. It's actually small, key little things to sneak in to be converting at a lot higher rate, still bringing in traffic, still bringing in views. But chances are you're simply just not throwing in a few key things that need to be there to actually be converting this attention into customers. So this leads to the question that everyone has: what makes a piece of content convert and not just go viral? And to answer this question, we have to go all the way back to structuring your content strategy. Because if you didn't do this in the first place, it's likely the number one and only reason why your content isn't actually converting, because you're not working backwards from that goal and catering your content to your actual offer. Because we want to take into consideration the customer journey and timeline that they have of getting to know you and finding your content. Now, when we look at it this way, content becomes a funnel, right? We now have different types of content. We have top of funnel content to reach a lot of people, middle of funnel content to nurture these people, get them to like and trust us more, and bottom of funnel content to push them to that next stage. And so, long answer short, if your content isn't converting, it's most likely because you're not approaching social media and you're not approaching content creation in this manner as a social funnel, which is actually quite contradicting to the first question of what makes a piece of content actually convert and not just go viral. It's not so much that every single post has to convert and has to bring in, 1 million sales and at the same time 50,000 conversions. We want to throw away this mindset and stop thinking that way. More so think in terms of every single piece of content you're putting out serves a different purpose, but it's all piece of one puzzle that's moving people further along in your sales process to getting them and acquiring them as a customer. Now, if we want to go more into how to master and structure each type of content, varying by which part of the funnel it's catering to, drop a comment below and I can make a video on that as well. And getting to the second question, why do most coaches fail even when they post consistently? And the simple answer to this is that they don't actually post with intent, right? They haven't looked at this big picture of what their entire content strategy consists of, what their top, middle, and bottom of funnel is within their content funnel. And they're simply just aimlessly throwing out content that they like, but they're not exactly putting themselves in their customer's shoes and thinking, what content do I actually need to post to acquire customers, to resonate with this audience, and to get them to like, know, and trust me enough to move forward and book that call with me. Now, the third topic to touch on is how I would structure content for someone selling a $10,000 offer differently than someone selling a $200 offer. Now, the reason why this question matters is because most people that go into using content as a vehicle to get customers don't take a step back and think how I need to cater my content to my actual offer. And everyone kind of just does it the same, right? They do what they want to do, but it really does vary. And in this example, selling a $10,000 offer versus selling a $200 offer is really different. Starting off with a $10,000 offer, this is a numbers game, right? We need much less people to buy this $10,000 offer to hit that same revenue cash collected as we do with people buying a $200 offer, right? So obviously we don't need to reach as many people. Now, this might sound bad, but it's really not, because at the same time, if you're going to be selling a $10,000 offer, you have to get very specific and make these few hundred prospects that you're probably aiming for feel very targeted, right? Just think about it. For someone to spend $10,000 on your offer, this has to be a solution that really solves their problem. They have to feel very specifically targeted to. And it also has to be a bigger problem. This offer is more times than not a service offer, a one-on-one offer, and something of that nature. And so in your marketing, in your content, you need to get very specific with targeting. And you can really only do that by peeling back the curtains of what type of content this person wants to see and how to make them feel targeted. This is looking at demographics, this is looking at psychographics. But instead of going down that rabbit hole, what really matters is looking at the specifics of what their pain points are and catering your content to those specific pain points, even though they are very specific. And it might only resonate with 10,000 people, and you might be capped at getting 5,000 to 10,000 views per video. And some people might look at that like it is a complete failure. But if your content is heavily aimed and targeted at the pain points and the solutions that people are seeking that are in a very specific category, your conversion rate is going to be a lot higher than people posting broad content and selling an offer like that. It doesn't quite make sense, right? Now, with a $200 offer, you basically just want to inverse everything that we just talked about, right? You have a more broad spectrum of buyers and people that you're targeting. You're going for more virality to reach more people, because a lot more people are likely to spend $200 on an offer than $10,000 on an offer. So this is your chance to reach more people, aim for more virality, because again, it's a numbers game, right? If we're selling a $10,000 offer, if we're reaching 100,000 people in our marketing, which is not that much, but we're selling a $10,000 offer, right? So let's say 100,000 people and our conversion rate is 5% and we're selling a $10,000 offer. That cash collected looks like $50 million. Now that's a big number. Probably should do a smaller one. Now, if we're reaching 3 million people a month with our marketing and converting at a rate of 0.05%, selling a $200 offer, our cash collected is going to look like 30 million. I try to pair them up as close as possible right there, just with random math, but you see the point. If we're selling a more expensive, more niche specific offer, your content is hyper focused on this avatar, on this one avatar and their pain points and their desired outcomes. And if you're selling a lower ticket product that caters to a broader market that would help a lot of people with different things, then you want to aim for virality in that circumstance, reach a broad audience, post content that's going to resonate with a lot of people, understanding that you're going to convert at a lower rate, but the numbers are going to make sense in the end. That wraps up this video. Like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.